The traditional view of the Bronze Age is defined by monumental vanity. Societies across the ancient world built massive stone structures to glorify absolute rulers and their gods. In Mesopotamia, the social order was the same. Towering temples dominated the landscape, projecting the power of the priesthood over the people. But in the 1920s, archaeologists in South Asia uncovered a society that ignored this historical precedent. They found a sophisticated civilization but operated on an entirely different set of rules. This map shows the footprint of the Indus Valley or Harappan civilization. Those dots represent nearly 2,800 identified sites spread across 1.2 million square kilometers. That geographic scale was larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined, making it the most widespread culture zone of the 3rd and 2nd millennia BC. Despite its massive size, the archaeological record contains a total absence of palaces, royal tombs, or giant temples. Excavations also yield almost no weapons, revealing a record of centuries defined by stability rather than constant military conquest. The largest society of its era functioned successfully without the god-kings, the monumental vanity, and the warfare that characterized every other Bronze Age superpower. Harappan leaders prioritized the engineering of highly organized public infrastructure for the masses, as seen in the precise geometric construction of the Great Bath. Their residential streets followed a strict mathematical grid system, with roads cutting across one another virtually at right angles. While contemporary builders in Egypt relied primarily on dried mud, the Harappans used superior fire-baked bricks. This massive use of baked brickwork suggests a highly organized workforce and a surplus of fuel. They used these bricks to create the ancient world's most advanced public sanitation network, a system that would remain unmatched for thousands of years. The physical proof of this infrastructure is everywhere. Nearly every house had its own courtyard and bathroom connected to covered street drains, which were protected by these flat stone slabs. Harappan authority was expressed through public health, cleanliness, and the maintenance of egalitarian infrastructure. In the absence of monarchs, scholars believe this society was governed by a highly organized class of merchants who focused on commerce rather than conquest. Wealth was centralized in massive strategically placed granaries. These structures replaced royal treasuries, storing agricultural surplus to pay wages and provide for emergencies. They enforced absolute uniformity in trade through a strict system of weights and measures. These cubic stone weights followed precise ratios of 16 and its multiples, a tradition that continued in India for millennia. They also invented a pictographic script to regulate commerce. Merchants used these stone seals to mark and identify private property, though the language remains undeciphered. Their economic reach was built on innovation. The Indus people were the earliest known people to produce woven cotton, which became a primary agricultural export. Harappan merchants operated a vast maritime network, navigating the coast of the Arabian Sea in vessels much like these, to exchange luxury goods like lapis lazuli with the cities of Mesopotamia. The Harappans successfully integrated the ancient world's largest culture zone through economic cooperation and supply chains, without reliance on a warrior class. A society reliant on precise agricultural yields and global trade is uniquely vulnerable. When the systems supporting those yields began to fail, the entire civilization faced a crisis. Archaeologists have found no evidence of a mass-scale military confrontation. The collapse of the 1900s BC appears to have been driven by the slow, systematic exhaustion of the region's resources. Environmental shifts dealt the first blow. Decreased rainfall and a shifting water supply altered the region's fertility. Tectonic movements in the Himalayas forced rivers away from the Sarasvati system, starving the floodplains that fed the cities. As domestic agriculture declined, a simultaneous geopolitical shift triggered the collapse of their international trade routes. The emergence of Elam as a power in Iran interrupted the supply of Harappan goods to Mesopotamia and blocked the import of tin. Without tin, the artisans could no longer manufacture the bronze tools their society depended on. The cities underwent a slow de-urbanization. People dispersed into rural villages, and the uniform script, standard weights, and fired bricks that defined the culture for 6 centuries gradually faded out. While the cities vanished, the people's cultural DNA remained. Their agricultural techniques and religious symbols, like the reverence for female fertility deities seen in this figurine, quietly survived to influence the later traditions of the subcontinent. The Indus Valley stands as a unique template for civilization, proving that the ancient world's largest society thrived through public sanitation, commercial integration, and shared infrastructure, rather than the vanity of kings.